So I didn't get a chance to do the Picard season 3, episode 2 review that I had wanted to do. So I just wanted to come on here live and share some thoughts. Um, First thing I wanted to mention, and I seriously apologize if I'm getting the name pronunciation wrong. Um, Gerald, is it Fried or Fried? Um, the composer of the notorious gladiatorial fight from Amok Time, among many other accomplishments, has passed away. He passed away on the 17th, and just wanted to acknowledge that he was 95. So, some of the things I picked up on from episode 2 was it was commented about Jack Crusher's accent being genetic, and one of the things that we noticed when they first opened up on the Ilios was there were logs being played, and one of them being from Captain Picard's logs. So I'm kind of wondering if the person that we currently know as Jack Crusher, um, having been listening to all those logs, could have influenced his accent. So just curious about that. One of the things that I noticed that when he first appeared on screen was, obviously, okay, this person looks familiar, and of course, I had to go back and look, and I realized that he was on Downton Abbey and kind of played a bad guy. But again, I really enjoyed his role on Downton Abbey. I want to comment on something I saw in the Ready Room with Will Wheaton when he made a comment and said, "Met you for half a second on set." So leave that to your own interpretation. But that was, I think, about at 9 minutes and 15 seconds in on that. So, and I also appreciated the call out to Marina when they briefly got into the topic of football. So, one of the things I thought was interesting was this was probably one of the dingiest medical ships I think we've ever seen on Star Trek. The Pasteur, which again was an alternate timeline, was quite pristine looking of what we saw it, and even the medical bays in other ships such as Discovery seemed to be much more put together, whereas on the Ilios, this seemed to be more of a cargo vessel being used as a medical ship. But whatever, let's see how that evolves. One of the things I thought was interesting was that after the Ilios was fired upon, there was some shrapnel that was showcased, and a piece of shrapnel that flew towards the ship looked like it's a Savick. So I was kind of curious about where they were leading with that. It was previously noted that the La Serena was provided to Agnes to return to the Delta Quadrant, and then we never saw anything about it. And then suddenly, it seems that Rafi is using La Serena to conduct her business. So I'm just going to kind of chalk that up to Agnes brought it back because she was done with it. So she's like, here's your car back. I did enjoy the reference to Portal Tech, However they decide they're going to use that. I really enjoyed that. It was a wonderful uh, special effect, and I'm just kind of curious to see if they're going to continue that for any further. The When Rafi was saying, "I demand an in-person meet," there was a noticeable tone difference when it came up denied, um, and which kind of made me wonder. Obviously this isn't a computer responding. This is a person, but I just thought it was neat that they put a little bit of extra emphasis on the denied part. Um, Another thing I noticed was when they're trying to fight getting boarded on the Ilios, Riker says, "Hey, throw me one of those plasma charges," and he catches it with his left hand. And I've never really noticed before in the past whether Riker was particularly left-handed or not. Still kind of confused about Seven's field commission. Picard said, consider this a field commission. Obviously, she has Janeway's support. She has her experience with the Fenris Rangers, but she comes in as a commander, which I believe she's earned. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, that jump from a field commission of an officer, which could easily be an ensign, but we see her as a commander on a commissioned ship. So another thing I wanted to point out was Lieutenant Tveen, the actress. I'm sorry if I'm going to get this incorrectly. Stephanie Sajowski. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Looked familiar, and it was kind of bugging me until I finally figured out who played Hammerhead on in Doom Patrol, which I loved that character, and it was just so awesome to see the actress appear in another series. The best part of this episode definitely has to have been she threw a ship at us. Friend of mine we would often joke, one of the best ways to try to figure out a crime, or how someone did something, was, well, just use another person to attack a person that you want to attack. So I really appreciated the throwing a ship at another ship. I tend to miss the why Shaw threw emphasis on Jarvis Carvel, other than maybe the spelling. It was slightly less. Some of the naming was a little less common. I could be missing something, but who knows? One of the things I was really surprised about, and I was happy about, was to see that Sneed, the Ferengi, was played by Pyro, the same actor from X-Men 2. So it was awesome to see him appear in the series. While we were in his section or lounge or whatever, there was a model on the shelf that looked very similar to the Grand Nagus head on the staff, but clearly was not the same model. And it almost looked like it could have been a little more similar to Quark. But again, don't know. It just thought it was interesting that was there, but it was a little different than some of the other busts we've seen in the previous episodes. I did hear earlier on about Worf being the suspected handler for Rafi, and I thought that was an excellent way to bring him in, especially seeing some of the trailers that we've seen. for his introduction. So I'm just can't wait to see more. While Jack was in holding in the brig, and the security officer says, "Go ahead and stick your tongue out." And immediately, the first thing I thought of was Flick from A Christmas Story, getting his tongue stuck to the pole. Again, may have nothing to do with that, but it was something that I thought was hilarious. The design of the Shrike I thought was really interesting because it was really reminiscent of the scimitar from Nemesis, as well as the Narada from the 2009 Star Trek movie. Um, Definite Birds of Prey influence, but I just thought it was a nice callback to some of those. We always seem to be fleeing into nebulas and hiding out for time. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go. I rewatched through the credits and I didn't see anything necessarily new in the credits. So it seemed like it was the same bit. But at the same time, I'm going to keep watching those end credits because I want to see if I pick something up that I didn't notice before. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to episode 3. I'm actually going to be participating in an event this coming week, and so I'm hoping that I can capture some thoughts and stuff before the weekend's over. But anyway, I'm really enjoying season 3, and I can't wait for the next episode.